Hey people, Infantry here, 3v3 Faction War. This is SD Province and Chaos versus Space Marines. For the blue Chaos team, KazKyzah and a Chaos Lord, a durable and destructive hero. Walking through objects, cannot be suppressed with powerful offense and disruption. Fighting in melee, this is the Cogs of Vashtor elite scheme. Alongside Rogue Trader von Valancius, also known as Handsome Sodding, rocking a Chaos Sorcerer, an offensive and disruptive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control. And we have the Thousand Suns elite scheme. Rounding off the team then, Pusheen and a Plague Champion. Starts off in ranged combat with a damage over time bolt gun, can get melee weapons, debilitates enemies and supports allies, can also repair. And he's having a firefight with some scouts here who melee him, because the Plague Champion is very, very poor in melee combat by default. Can the Chaos Space Marines catch up and help him out, maybe? For the Space Marine team, red side, we have two Force Commanders, DrBengunn, got some Blood Angels elite scheme here, and UY Scuti with some Blood Ravens. These guys are versatile frontline heroes, can bring offense, disruption, and support for the Emperor. Rounding off the teams, you saw him already, it's Fear and a Techmarine. Starts off with a bolt gun, can get a melee weapon, supports with structures and repairs. We got some Imperial Fists over here. I think this is the elite scheme. There's a bunch of Imperial Fist schemes. Relic did one officially for free at some point. Red VP on the western contested victory point location. Sorcerers on it though. We got some shotgun scouts. Surprised we didn't see this side pushed earlier from the Chaos Lord. It's a very cool looking axe with this scheme. Usually you'd be aggressive against Space Marines early on, because they'll typically only have Marines and Scouts and their hero. Force Commander does make that fight a bit harder, but you'd expect the Chaos Lord to be more aggressive over here. We'll see what he does now though. Pushing through with some Eternal War CSM. Those Tactical Marines took a whole bunch of damage. Scouts trying to shotgun the Chaos Lord. They can't knock him back or suppress him with the blast though. Double CSM here for KazKyzah. And they're focus firing on that Force Commander pretty effectively as well. Both with Eternal War, racking up the damage. Look at that. Making him flee. Shotgun blast comes in. The Tactical Marines popping their Kraken bolts for extra damage against this heavy infantry. Bit of a flank coming through thanks to Scuti. Those guys now backing off for some corn worship. These fellas getting a bit low. He needs to be very careful now against two players, does KazKyzah. He's got some backup. And some sodding is here, doing a Doom Blast into those scouts. Maybe he can focus fire these scouts down now, yeah. Eternal War CSM will kill scouts so quick. Killed one in like half a second there. They were lowered by the Doom Bolts, of course. Havocs are here, being infiltrated as well. And now the Techmarine shows up with a mastercrafted bolter. All the way from the east side. What's he up to? There's the high-powered shot. Chaos fellas holding this west side for now. Force Commander under fire is going to decap. And these guys are outnumbered. Those Tats could just force melee on them. But they don't. These guys do. And the Kraken Bolts bonus does apply to melee attacks. Those power armored elbows and left hooks they do. Doom Bolts. Good hit on those Marines. Makes them run. Actually killed one of them, actually. 18 red from that. Force Commander with a power sword. Not a weapon you see all that often in 3v3s. Mostly because his tier 2 weapons are so bloody good. And I don't know if the 5% extra on the battle cry is that appealing. I mean, it can stack up to like 10-15% extra if you get multiple attacks. But what if that could be looked at for a little bit of a buff? Maybe make it 18% or something. But what do I know? Is a power weapon, of course, as well. And the Space Marines can also be a bit already be a bit crazy with how their buffs can stack up in a late game with Librarians and Dreadnoughts and Terminators and Force Commander. So maybe it's all with that in mind. There's the battle cry then, boosted by that power sword. 466 to 425. Assault Marines being aggressive. See them in these Death Company colours here. Took a bunch of damage, and they lost. Oh, they lost 2 models there actually. Wow, I thought they were going to get away with 2, but only 1 makes it out. Chaos Lord is not happy about his stuff getting forced off this west side. Pushes back hard. 2v1 there against Bengunn, it looked like. the old Doctor. On the east side, Space Marines are 2v1 against the Chaos fellas, I suppose, against the Plague Champion who runs off. There's some Nurgle worship. Managed to... they managed to power bash and decap that wreck point over there. Noise Marines are up for Rogue Trader Von Valancius, also known as Handsome Sodding. That Sonic Blast will shake apart structures. They were trying to get that node down. There's Cacophony to knock down the Assault Marines. These are Scutis. Again, the Techmarine rotates all the way to the west side. Well, more mid at the moment. It's not something you see very often on this map. Usually the eastern players stay on that resource lane trying to bash power. Assault Squad flees. Heretics getting in there with an Aspiring Champion. He gets a fancy sword with the cogs of Vashtor. It's a really cool scheme. Chaos Lord with too much bolter fire in his face. Battle Crying Force Commander buffing all this stuff up. Raptors jumping into the back lines from Pusheen. These fellas suppress on landing. And it does last a few seconds so they can get that little secondary jump there that you saw suppress those guys. A little passive kind of charge jump they have. Down goes the Techmarine. They took him out. 30 DPS melee on those fellas. Assault Squad maybe not gonna make it out here. 14 hit points down to 9. 6 down they go. Assault Squad wiped. Those were the Doctors, weren't they? Yeah, the Blood Angel fellas. Heretics make it out with just an Aspiring Champion. A messy fight over here in this kind of Midwest location, you know, with cowboys and stuff. Assault Squad looking to jump the Havocs. Maybe Heretics are back there, though. I need to be careful about that. Can't actually see them at the moment. The Heretics are worshipping Tzeentch and infiltrating them. Using a jump there. It's a 55 energy dump these days, isn't it? Force Commander gets a revive. Doesn't quite level him. There's another jump. Havoc's off the field now. Can these guys get on the power? 4 squads of Marines and an Assault Squad. A bunch of those guys are heavily damaged, though. These guys having a bit of a meeting over there now, idle. And they are trying to get onto the power. Chaos Lord using the line of sight blockers here to try and ambush them a bit, maybe. Got no war gear, bit of XP. There's some Tzeentchian worship. Double Tzeentchian worship. Being very sneaky. Now double Eternal War CSM. Triple Eternal War CSM for KazKyzah. It's a lot of firepower. Dread coming, says Fear. Wants to push with it. Indeed, there is one coming. DrBengunn still in tier 1. There we go, there's the tier 2. Tier 2 for all the Chaos fellas. Did not see any Blood Crushers coming out, though. West side is red, thanks to these mobile scouts over there. And Iron Halo up for DrBengunn with Artificer, so he's very tough and can support with that power sword. Blood Crusher on the way for Handsome Sodding. Meanwhile, Northeast Power being fully bashed, maybe. Oh, maybe all the gens. I'm not sure they'll get the node. And there's that Dreadnought starting as a close combat walker for the Space Marines. Really, really bad news for those Raptors. I'm surprised they didn't just leave immediately. Got a bit of suppression. I didn't drop a model either, so it was alright, innit? Big old flank, though. Big old flank. Both the Force Commanders here. The Techmarine, we've got some plasma attacks. One of them's got a plasma. There it is. Very effective against heavy and super heavy infantry. There's most of the Chaos roster in terms of their troops. Raptors did make it out. 3 hit points. Maybe even lower than that at some point. More plasma here for Scuti. Double plasma on these tacks. So maybe some Bloodletters to get in there and tie up those dangerous plasma guns, eh? They got the Raptors, of course. Which, with the suppression, really nice to have when there's a bunch of blobbed up Marines like that, because they can suppress all of them. Power bashing. KazKyzah with triple Mark of Tzeentch. Talk about firepower. I'm not sure who wins that in a straight up trade. If they were like standing out of cover, just shooting it against fully upgraded plasma attacks, who could pop their Kraken bolts, of course. Who wins that trade? The attacks will have more hit points, and the Kraken bolts. But yeah, the Mark of Tzeentch guys are nasty, especially with that demonic plasma gun on the Aspiring Champion. Double plasma cannons for DrBengunn, and scouts stealing the VP is going to be a 2-1 for the Space Marines. They need to make up some of those VPs, don't they? These guys trying to defend their power with reams and reams of Mark of Tzeentch bolts and some Mark of Khorne for handsome sodding. Power melee, innit? They all flee. Don't think they bashed anything. Blood Crusher's doing alright. He's got a bit of XP himself. Scouts trading with CSM, not a good trade for them. It says they're in heavy cover, those two little green dots, but its cover is directional in this game. Oh, we have an Assault Cannon Dreadnought now. Pusheen went to tier 3. Did lose his heretics along the way. Those scouts may die. Okay, they made it out. These Mark of Khorne fellas get a cool little melter pistol on the aspiring champion, and that was buffed recently-ish. I say recently, it was probably like 8 months ago or something. 390 to 295. Who knows how time works? Lightning Claws Chaos Lord. He's got Icon of Khorne on for healing on hit. Very good with the claws because they attack quickly. There's a percentage base here. What is it now? 2.5. It used to be 1.5 long time ago. Glad it was buffed. Level 2 Force Commander for the Doctor. Needs to run. Oh, he stays in play. He stays in play. Look at that. What the hell do I know? And a Power Fist Force Commander for Scuti. Very effective against all targets. And the Flesh over Steel makes it especially good against vehicles. You can shut them down with it. On the east side, big push from Fear with that Dreadnought, which hasn't really been answered. Oh, here we go. Meltagun Raptors is an answer. And he's getting a Blood Crusher out on tier 3 to tie things up and charge. You can charge through these Marines maybe. Do you want to tie up the Dreadnought though? Because this thing will still have like 70 odd heavy melee DPS on that remaining close combat claw. And the Blood Crusher doesn't have melee resistance, so I don't think maybe you do want to tie it up. To stay on the Marines perhaps. Because you could maybe force, he might put the Dreadnought in melee mode and try to chase it around, which means it's not firing on your infantry at that point. Plasma Cannon gets a decent shot. The aspiring champion was not so easily hit though, although now he's stuck waiting for his friends to catch up. Blood Crusher gets in there. And the Chaos fellas should be able to take the west side now. Look at that firepower there. Is it worth getting more Assault Marines, DrBengunn? Looks like he's Razorbacking. I thought maybe he was going to get a Whirlwind going for disruption. Could still do that, of course. Another Dreadnought for Fear. Awesome. This guy gets some melee hits on those retreating fellas. Retreating units taking 30% more damage from melee attacks. You don't want to retreat through a Dreadnought if you can help it. 370 to 278 on the VPs. What is this? Power bashing Chaos fellas, isn't it? Get some XP for those Raptors with their melters. The aspiring champion gets a fancy Power Fist and a melter pistol. Does it tell me what the no. I don't know what the DPS is on that Power Fist. I imagine it's 50 DPS. And they're getting some good power bashing done. Typically just keep them on their ranged stance though for the melters to do their thing. And his melter pistol I think does the same damage as their melter guns, the aspiring champion's melter pistol. 370 to 251. Blood Crusher survives. Chaos fellas have the west side. Space Marines typically much better at digging into defensive positions though, especially when they get tier 3 and land raiders and stuff. And there's the Razorback. A shrewd choice. Maybe a slightly underutilized unit in 3v3s for the Space Marines, especially later in the game. Chuck out a Razorback. You've got a relatively cheap way to reinforce in the field. They just they want that land raider, I guess, most of the time. Most of the time it works out for them. Once they get that thing on the field. Is the other Dreadnought also Assault Cannon? It is. Which means they can both do that Assault Barrage, which is very nasty. Blood Crusher backing off. And with both of them firing on something, I wonder if they can suppress as well. Double Mark of Khorne CSM here for Pusheen. Nothing on the Plague Champion. Might be worth getting Havocs or Plague Marines out A when you've got 2 Dreadnoughts. These guys jumping in, looking for the Melter Bomb. There it is. But then they got shredded by the plasma guns. Because the Techmarine now has one. Anti-vehicle turret makes very short work of the Blood Crusher. Was that 3 shots? Taking the Blood Crusher out. Those guys flee back to the west side. It's decapped. This guy's got an Iron Halo now. With Artificer. Goes after the Chaos Lord. He's trying to dislodge these guys. Could use Destructive Strike maybe. Gets a special, which did not trigger the heal, I notice. Kind of sucks. They should put that in there. I think if you hit a special attack, you should get healed for it. If you've got Icon of Pawn. Heretics coming in for KazKyzah. Still has those triple CSM. Level 2, and almost level 2. Full power bash on this side, though. Chaos fellas, are you going to cap? Looks like the... oh, there's a plasma cannon there, that's why. 2 of them now. They're also not capping this wreck point. Defending their power is what they're trying to do. Full gen bash. The node is still up, but I don't think that's going to last. CSM getting tied up by the assault squad running interference. Heretics coming in. They flee. Didn't quite get the node, but that was a very quick bash from Scuti. Nicely done. Tier 3 for DrBengunn. Scuti's already there. And all the Chaos fellas are in Tier 3 also. Anything for the Plague Champion? No, still level 2, no war gear. Fear just running around with impunity on those Dreadnoughts. They're not being threatened enough, I don't think. Not much taking... What are these guys? We do have a las cannon back at base right now. It's a pretty effective barrage. There's a Melter Bomb, Blood Crusher on it. Having the assault cannon does remove their melee resistance. Mark target though on the Raptors now. Techmarine's in there. He's not shooting them though. He marked them and then he's shooting this CSM with Mark of Pawn. Takes them out. That plasma gun is so nasty. Down goes one of the Dreadnoughts. Can they get one of the... They can. They got one of the Tactical Marines as well. As a bad fight for Fear. The Raptors survive. I said he was running around with impunity, but las cannon saw to that. Can they get both of them? They can. I think, yes. Fear wanted some support there, but that was a... I mean, that's a pretty dangerous spot to take your 2 Dreadnoughts over the halfway point on the map in the 3v3. It's always very, very risky. Can he recover now, Fear? Goes Tier 3. This turret is going to be taken out. Can't really hit infantry with those missiles. 254, 240 on the VPs. Not sure who Fear is referring to there. Land Raider Redeemer on the way for DrBengunn. And Space Marines are holding the west side. VP's very even. Fear doesn't have a huge amount of time to recover, but his team with the VP lead very shortly. There it is. So he does have some time. He's got level 3 tax here still. And level 4 Techmarine doing huge amounts of damage to infantry, to these Marines. Plague Champion runs away, and on the west side, Blood Crusher is surely going to fall here. Let the Galaxy burn. Blood Crusher's still alive somehow. There he goes. Force Corner levels up. 2, 3. Scuti's down in there. Chaos Lord having a grand old time slicing through some Marines there with the Lightning Claws. 218 to 240 on the VPs. Ouch. Attack squad capping that power point. Chaos Lord still on the prowl. Having a look at the Razorback at the moment. Nope, now fights the Force Commander. So much damage, especially when he starts retreating. Nasty stuff. Nasty, nasty stuff. Predator tank for Scuti with extra armor. Chaos Predator on the way. Another Land Red Redeemer for Fear this time. Ouch. Plasma cannons. Smoked by the Razorback. That's defensive smoke. Can't knock down the Chaos Lord, but they're hitting him pretty hard. Sorcerer's here to take over the cap if need be. There's some Tzeentchian worship. I didn't knock down the Sorcerer from there. What is this? Mark of Khorne, fellas. They're going to get shot to shreds. I don't think they can approach here. Especially if marked target's available. Level 5 Techmarine now. Raptor's trying to power bash. Is that a good fight for Fear? He's staying. 1-8 take to 230. Did they still have the suppression on landing when they have the melter guns? I always forget. I think it's gone back and forth a couple of times maybe. I don't think they do. So here's the first Land Raider. Can act as a retreat point, can reinforce, can health regen. It's got some pretty nasty weaponry too. That's a big boon to the Space Marines on the west side. We might see some more anti-vehicle coming out. Here comes a Phobos. And a Great Unclean One. This guy is Mark of Khorne, that Predator tank. Just more damage on the guns, more speed. Las Cannon is here, but the Land Raider's staying back for now. I'm not sure what Fear's going to do with his one. Staying east for now to make sure his power's defended. Look at him pushing forward with just Marines and a Techmarine here. I mean, Pusheen only has 2 units as well, so... About to see the Phobos, though, making it 3. What level are you, Mr. Chaos Lord? Level 3. Yeah, I wonder if he can get healing on his special attacks. Does it? I'm not sure if it works for the Apothecary's Sanguine Chainsword and the Brother Captain's Unending Purge, if they get healing on special attacks as well. Or not. Let the Galaxy burn. Yeah, keep those plasma cannons separated so we can't disrupt both of them with that. Now he flees. Chaos are holding this side, trying to get onto a VP lead. And Fear's Land Raider is staying west side for now. Little bit risky because, again, he doesn't have much support over here. And that Phobos is a big threat. There's also the Raptors, of course. Raptors need to try and not jump right in front of it so they get frag assaulted, but of course the Land Raider can just spin. Even when he's melter bombed, he can spin and hit him. Level 4 Force Commander trying to cap. I think he's going to get it. There's no Blast Masters or anything over here. We do have a Great Unclean One though, and I don't know if the Space Marines know about it yet. Okay, maybe they do now, because it was infiltrated there. Some very sneaky Chaos Space Marines level 3. With Mark of Khorne, which does give them some good foot speed, and they get the decap. In fact, they get a cap. Look at that. Stolen the VP. Now threatening a tank a bit before they flee. How many plasma guns do we have? 4 plasma attacks, and all of them are at least level 3. Oh, I'm lying. This one's level 2 over here. Such a liar. Scout should be leaving this cap to the... There we go. Fast capping tactical marines there. Force Commanders level 3 and 4, both with Power Fist. They are. This guy's got teleporters, so he can put very quick pressure on the Phobos, which is sitting mid for now. I wonder if there's going to be another missile launcher to transfer a turret, because the anti-vehicle upgrade is free for the turrets. Terminator's in now for Fear. Stormbolters shredding heretics immediately. Kicking off west side. Tank in there. Great Unclean One leading the charge. Let the Galaxy burn, and then fleeing Chaos Lord. These guys shredding that Force Commander with Mark of Tzeentch bolts. And the Great Unclean One does the foul snare. Why did he do that? Should have just hit him. Not sure. Does the foul snare do more damage than a melee attack? I don't think it does, but perhaps I am wrong. There's a lot of damage. I think he's like... Is it like 200 heavy melee DPS, or is it 200 per hit? I think it's 200 per hit on this guy. Doesn't have splash damage though. But he does just like rot his surroundings and damage it that way. Meanwhile in the mid, Cyclone Missile Launcher getting a decent hit on the Phobos. Plague Champion now has a Plague Fist for Pusheen. And Armor of Pestilence, so he's tough and he's quite dangerous in melee, but he's very, very slow. even slower than normal. Force Commander scaring off some CSM. But they didn't drop a model. And yeah, there's 3 Predator tanks and 2 Land Raiders. They need some anti-vehicle. Well, they need more anti-vehicle. Oh, they do have 2 las cannons. Got 2 las cannons and the Raptors and the Phobos. Great Unclean One can smack them. And now they have a Blastmaster. So maybe they have enough anti-vehicle if they can bring it all together. I'm grabbing a quick drink there. There we go. Space Marine's having a go on the VP. Phobos is getting low. Tank's chasing it. Raptors jumping in. Oh look, they did suppress. Yeah, I thought at some point they got it, but I didn't know if it had been taken away again. Looks like they have it. Good for you, Raptors. Getting torn up by the Force Commander, though. 160 to 151 on the VPs. I'm not sure how much these Markov Pawn guys can do now. They're going to struggle to approach these fights. They need to really try and flank, coming from weird angles, maybe. What is this? Scouts being weird. What are they up to? Oh, looking for a grenade, maybe? But, or maybe just providing vision for the plasma cannon guys, but they did die. They died pretty hard. Why did they die? Were they not infiltrated? Maybe they got spotted by these heretics. Through the mid. Still a big push from the Space Marine fellas. Rod of Warp Fire in. And the Tome of Subjugation. Most likely to subjugate Terminators. Maybe they've already had it done. Sorcerer almost gets shot to death. He still does. Still gets shot to death. Triple cap now for the Space Marines though. Supported by this Land Raider. Really good play from Fear. Here comes another Predator tank for Scuti. Raptors, I mean, they're able to jump in and get the melter, but they're not able to really do much else. Getting really torn up once they get in there. Imperial Abyss stopping the Land Raider from backing up. Great Unclean One's on it. Can they bring it down? Phobos is there. Las Cannon Havocs are there, and down it goes. Another Abyss chucked in by Pusheen. They really wanted that Land Raider gone, and gone it is. It was a good push by Fear, but it's always a massive risk taking your vehicles that far forward. Subjugated Terminators here. One of them dies. Oh, it's consumed by the Great Unclean One, I think. I was going to say, how the hell did it die when it was subjugated? Because they should have damage immunity, but you can still consume them. Tanks pushing all the way forward. Space Marines still have a big VP lead. Well, 100, but at this stage it's pretty big. And a double cap as well. Was that push worth it from Fear? It did a lot of damage and he got the cap off it, but then lost that Land Raider. Doesn't look like he's replacing it yet. Well, that might just be because he's lacking the requisition. What is this? Those Markov Pawn fellas making themselves useful. And here's the Grey and Clean One. Force Commander teleports in. Can they finish it? Oh, they can't get the decap though. Couldn't quite get it. The decap. That's so close. Plague Champion comes to say hello. Grey and Clean One getting torn up. He's going to get warped out, you would think. There's a Nurgle Vomit. Flesh over steel, flesh over flesh in that case. There's the warp though from the Sorcerer. And was that an orbital coming in? Oh, he tried to shut him down with flesh over steel and then orbital his face, but the Sorcerer had other plans. Down to 12 VPs, the Chaos fellas. The Space Marines can get this VP back and just hold it for 12 seconds or so. They'll have the game. Chaos Lord trying to decap here. A couple of Chaos Preds coming in for a push. Mark of Pawn. But here's a big old las cannon fella. Can he take one down? Not quite. They backed off. They did stop that little push though. Chaos Lord taken out. Can they get their natural back? Tax are on it with their fast capping. Those guys almost wiped. These guys are in a bad spot. Predator taken out though. Down to 6 VPs. Raptors with the desperation decap attempts. Plasma Cannon says no though. And here comes the Force Commander. But it's not needed because the Space Marines take it with a 2-to-1 cap at the end. Really good push from Fear through the mid. Kind of discombobulated the Chaos team a bit. And they were dragged away from the west side to contest it. We had a level 4 Chaos Lord down with those claws. Level 6 Sorcerer. level 4 Plague Champion down. The Force Commander's level 5 and level 5, really dangerous with those Power Fists. And the Techmarine, shredding stuff with the Plasma Gun, level 7, also had orbs at the end. And of course that Signum Armor. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Big thanks to these players for duking it out in a faction war. I believe it was Handsome Sodding who sent this in. And I'll see you guys next time.